When it comes to being problematic, Samyra and Lily Tino are the same. And I will not be elaborating on that.
Did we just clip into another universe?
To my daughter, Samira, mommy loves you and always going to be your biggest defender and your biggest protector.
Was that Samira's mom?
Then y'all go to Samira's page and say things like, it gets to a point. Why are you always talking about the same thing? Y'all would have hated Malcolm X.
I know that we did not just compare Samira to Malcolm X.
It's when y'all comparing Samira to Martin Luther King. That's crazy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam and I make weekly videos dissecting internet nonsense like you've just seen. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. You know what you're in for, even more internet nonsense, okay? And I have a good one for you today. But honestly, I just wanted to drop a line to say I'm glad to see you here again with me this week, and I hope that you've been enjoying the unhinged intros lately, because they're my new favorite thing, and I don't see them going anywhere. But anyways, thank you for being here again. If you are new here, and this is the first time you are seeing my face, also welcome. I'm excited to have you, and I hope that if you like today's video, you'll consider liking and subscribing, because liking really helps the channel grow, and subscribing means that you want to join us here in our little corner of the internet. And the truth is, friend, we would be happy to have you. Today, I feel like we have to talk about the absolute insanity that has been taking place on TikTok in recent days, okay? I scrapped a whole nother script just for this, because it's been something else to watch, as you saw at the beginning of this video, okay? Because what's taken place is that Samyra went ahead and got herself into a little bit of a mess. I know, you're absolutely shocked, aren't you? But this time is a little different, because I think Samyra genuinely bit off more than she could chew by picking a fight with none other than Cardi B. Yes, you heard me correctly. Cardi B, the rapper who literally threw a microphone at someone. Samyra decided that she needed to enter an argument with her. And let's just say she's currently in the find out stage, as she recently announced a social media break. So today, I'm going to give you a little bit of context about the argument itself, because it's important to the conversation, but it's a little bit he said, she said. Are they fat phobic or are they not phobic? Snooze, boring, we've been there. What I actually want to talk about, outside of giving you some background on how this all started, are the actual completely unhinged responses to this internet beef, which you got a little taste of at the beginning of this video. So I hope you're all ready. Get your snacks, get your favorite cardio machine. We are about to get into all of this chaos.
If I got y'all so upset, here's a cupcake.
So let me start by giving you some background on how this whole internet drama really kicked off, okay? In recent times, Cardi B was doing a live stream. She has an album dropping soon. She recently dropped some merch attached to that album, or is doing some sort of collaboration. And she went live to explain to her fans that she had underestimated the merch that she would need, telling them that she sold out of some boxes that had multiple pieces of merch in them, but also that she was shocked that her 3Xs sold out in 20 minutes.
Anyways, so what I wanted to tell y'all was that let me just open now. Oh, Jesus Christ. What I wanted to tell y'all is that we really underestimated the box sets. So the box sets are completely sold out, especially because you clearly you guys are fat as no Chick-fil-A for y'all. All the 3X sold out. Yo, the 3X sold out like in 20 minutes. Now, knowing that my fans is fat, I can't even make fun of fat people no more. Don't call me fat phobic, y'all, because everybody make fun of my BBL. So don't be y'all. I could body shame people because y'all body shame me. If y'all body shame me, I could body shame y'all. This is a body shaming This is a body shaming space. This is a body shaming shit. This is a body shaming space. You can talk about my body and I talk about yours. So it doesn't matter. If I call you fat, it's not a big deal. You can talk about my BBL all day, but I haven't talked about you being fat all day. But anyways, the point is, God damn, what the fuck is wrong with this? My life is messed up. The lit is messed up. The point is, God damn it.
So before we move on to see what Samyra's reaction is going to be, what I want you to keep in the back of your brain is this, okay? This is one clip, and it's the only clip I can find from this longer live stream that Cardi did. As I said, you can see she's sitting down, she's talking directly to her fans, and she is saying, I made a mistake, my team made a mistake, we underestimated what we needed. Now, again, this is a clip. It's a very cut down version. It was done that way to go viral, which means context is removed. And as it gets picked up and re-reported and re-reported and re-reported, even more context is going to be lost. And that's the thing that you're going to see happening, okay? But in my brain, if you continued to listen to Cardi talk for however long this live stream was, I'm assuming, and again, this is my opinion, I wasn't there, I didn't watch this happen live, is that she's offering that to either say, wow, we are going to restock because we did not expect this to happen, or we can't restock, unfortunately, but now we know what to prepare for next time, right? That seems like the way that things should go. But none of us know how that conversation went because it was clipped in an effort to make it go viral. So please keep that in your brain because that is exactly what happened when Samyra picked it up. And Samyra's reaction was textbook Samyra as she went ahead and just misinterpreted the whole thing all over the place.
I don't know if my eyes and ears are deceiving me because I just woke up, but I know I did not just see a video of Cardi B talking about she was surprised that her 3X sold out and that her fat fans are just big as hell and shouldn't have no Chick-fil-A. And now she can't make fun of fat people no more because she knows she got fat fans because the 3XL sold out. Didn't you do a song with Lizzo? Didn't you perform at Lizzo? I just know I must be tripping.
Now, because we just watched Cardi B's video here together, it's pretty fresh for us, right? So we know that what we just saw Samyra say wasn't necessarily the full truth, right? It was devoid of some of the context. As an example, if you only saw Samyra's video and never saw Cardi B's live stream being clipped, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would Cardi B be making fun of her fat fans and saying that they shouldn't have Chick-fil-A? That's incredibly fat phobic, right? That's kind of the route that Samyra's taking here. But what she fails to express to her audience is the reason that Chick-fil-A was the thing is because Cardi was literally struggling for her life to open a Chick-fil-A cup that she had DoorDash to her for that whole clip, right? It took her a very long time to get that cup open. And I have to tell you all, truly, honestly, this doesn't happen very often, but Cardi B's Twitter bio made me laugh because the location is listed as living in your mind rent-free. And it made me giggle because that's exactly where she was for Samyra, because it wasn't enough to make one video. No, Samyra saw a gravy train and decided, I need to capitalize on this, and I'm going to go ahead and make another reaction, this time extrapolating this issue to all celebrities and their merch.
Look, if this is what gets us to finally talk about artist merch and the lack of consideration for plus size fans, then so be it. Because the number of times that I have attended concerts and not been able to purchase a lick of merch is a problem. And it wasn't because they had sold out. It's because nobody considers plus size fans. And of course, access to plus size clothing is a problem everywhere. But it truly does baffle me, especially in music, because do you think plus size people don't listen to your songs? Like, do you really think you don't have plus size fans? And you know, it's not just merch, it's also like any clothing collabs that artists do. They never consider their plus size fans. Everything stops at an XL or an XXL, which is not a plus size. Go to Google before you comment something silly. But like, yeah, it's just a complete lack of consideration. And then when you do attempt to have a 3XL, which is also not a plus size, again, Google is free. And then you go and pair it with fat phobic comments like the ones Cardi B made. It's really just like, even when you think you're being considered, you're not. And all that said, it's not that hard to have plus size merch. And it's also not that hard to not be fat phobic.
And after Samyra's second video, this thing really started to pick up some traction. I was seeing a lot of responses all over the place, people clipping Samyra, people clipping Cardi B, and giving their general reactions. And it's at this point that this is starting to catch Cardi B's attention, and she went ahead and posted in someone else's comment section, okay, not Samyra's, but in someone's comment section, she said, "Girl, people make fun of my BBL every day. I was talking to my fans who was making fun of the same thing, like it's not that serious." So to this point, to be clear, Cardi B has not directly spoken to Samyra. She has not tagged Samyra. Samyra is not on her radar. Doesn't matter. Samyra went ahead, even though she admitted this comment was in someone else's comment section. She went ahead and took that comment and decided she was going to make yet another video, but this time with a very condescending tone, almost lecturing Cardi B on why she's wrong.
Cardi B, I'm very surprised that I have to remind you of this, but just because someone else makes a joke doesn't mean you have to make it too. You know that, right? And also, maybe the reason why people feel so comfortable making fun of your BBL is because you do not command the respect that you so seek. Maybe if you stop using fat people at the expense of jokes, then people wouldn't do the same for your BBL. No, they shouldn't be making fun of your BBL. But also, no, you shouldn't be making fun of fat people. And neither should they. But if you are going to sit here and still say it's not that serious and offer a cupcake in the camera to anybody who is so upset by it, well, I'm going to offer you a few books that I recommend for you to understand why fat phobia is something so serious and something that should not be taken lightly and something that should not be joked about, especially by someone as powerful as you. You are powerful. You are talented. And I am happy that your 3XL merch sold out. I am happy that you now see that you have fat fans. But if you would like to keep those fat fans, please consider unlearning fat phobia and standing up for them instead of standing against them.
And you guys, I just cannot with this because Samyra is so serious and Cardi B is so unserious, okay? Because this is the video where Cardi B would decide, all right, if my attention is what you want, then I'm going to give it to you. And give it to Samyra. She did by telling her she was not going to apologize.
Cardi B, I'm very surprised that I have to remind you of this, but just because...
Girl, shut the fuck up. God damn, shut up already. Like, it's not that serious. Not everything is revolutionary. Not everything has to have a crazy outrage. I already did a video. I told you it's not that serious. Like, what do you want me to do? Get on my knees and apologize? I'm not apologizing for a fucking jokey joke. That it wasn't even about you. It was something about me and my fans.
And then offering her a cupcake for her hurt feelings.
If I got y'all so upset, here's a cupcake.
And after Cardi B officially clapped back and made it directly to Samyra, Samyra decided it was the perfect time for a social media break. posting to her TikTok. When I spoke about Cardi B's fat-phobic comments, I did so respectfully, with the hope of encouraging her to think about the impact of her words on her plus-size fans. Ma'am, you lectured her like she was your child. Tell me one more time how respectful that was. Her choice to respond by telling me to shut the F up and to calm my vagine was vulgar, dismissive, and escalated the issue entirely. So Samyra was out here being real concerned for Cardi B's plus-size fans, but then was shocked to see Cardi B being vulgar and dismissive. Tell me you're not a fan without telling me you're not a fan. I am no stranger to fat-phobic harassment in my comments and DMs, but Cardi B's direct comments toward me have encouraged a new level. By speaking to me in that way publicly, she once again signaled to millions of people that this kind of language and violence towards fat women is acceptable. I promise I'm gonna stop interrupting and we're gonna get through this, but this one really got me, okay? Because Samyra once did this exact thing to me, right? A fellow fat person. I am still fat. Fellow fat woman, actually. She said violence against fat women. Well, here you go, Samyra. You have something to answer to. Because if you've not been here for a while, you may not know this. Once upon a time, I made a video about Samyra where I dared to call her platform performative. I had evidence and arguments and logic, same way that I always do. And she edited my video down in bad faith so that her audience would attack me. And attack me they did. They came to my comment section, they went into my DMs, they denigrated my appearance, they called me a pig, and a lot of other fat-phobic things, which is interesting, and told me that I should off myself. But keep telling us how hard this is, Samyra. I still stand by everything that I said in my video, especially her being talented and powerful. I truly do wish the best for her. However, for my own peace, I'll be taking a small step back from posting for a while I focus on my mental health. But make no mistake, I will never stop advocating for plus-size people to be treated with dignity and respect. Do you see why I needed her to finish? Because what I really wanted to say is there was no dignity and no respect for me as a plus-size person when her audience came at me full bore with her permission. She created her video the way that she did so they would seek me out and do the things and say the things that they did, okay? And the dog pile did not feel nice. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And Samyra is far from being my worst enemy, okay? She's just a person I think is interesting and like to follow on the internet. I just wanted to call out the hypocrisy in her arguments. So I don't think it's fair for Samyra to feel this dog pile, and I'm not wishing it upon her. In fact, I understand how truly awful it is to have people coming at you from every angle and saying really horrible and cruel things. So there's a teeny tiny part of me that was like, okay, maybe this is a taste of her own medicine and she'll stop using her audience this way. Because if she can go at Cardi B and say you are talented and powerful and the things you say to your audience and the way that they act makes a difference, it's almost like she should look in a mirror. Am I wrong? But I unfortunately don't think that any of this experience is going to change Samyra's behavior for the better, because even though she's on a supposed social media break, she has been flagged, continuing to block people post announcing her break, rearranging her pinned videos on her TikTok, and also continuing to repost and like fresh comments that are agreeing with her. So that is the entirety of the internet beef between Cardi B and Samyra. But it was after Samyra announcing that she was going to take a social media break where things started to get really unhinged, because the internet didn't just react, they overreacted in a very interesting way that I think is worth talking about, okay? Because it's going to get real unhinged real fast.
Y'all would have hated Malcolm X.
One of the first things that I saw post Samyra announcing a break from social media was literally her mom crying on TikTok.
To my daughter Samira, I came from an event and to see how being bullied and treated online really hurt me. I'm so sorry the world is so cruel. I love you. You are perfect to me. And you deserve a love and respect. Mommy loves you and always going to be your biggest defender and your biggest protector.
And I don't know about you all, but that video gave me so much ick. Like, it gives Chronically Online for both of them. Because why was that necessary? Like, what is this? I have secondhand embarrassment. And I'm not the only one. And when people started to say that, like, ooh, this is weird, Samyra's fans went on a whole nother tangent and started to shift the narrative to anyone who doesn't like Samyra, or anyone who thinks that Samyra's mom crying online in her defense is bad. Well, clearly you just don't have a good mom.
Anybody clowning someone for their mama coming on TikTok and defending them, you don't got a mama that'll do that for you? Uh-oh, it's giving misplaced trauma. It's giving projection. It's giving projection. Actually, let me say this. My mom has wanted to come behind me a few times on this app, actually. That's something to clown? A mother protecting, defending, affirming her child. Oh, I would hate to laugh at the misfortunate. I would hate to clown on those who might just not know what it feels like to have a mother. That's what a mother would do. That's what a mother would do. Y'all moms wasn't coming to your school defending you, huh? Your moms wasn't coming to school to check folks about you. Your parents wasn't checking folks about you. Ooh, I'm sorry, Stink. I'm sorry.
For the rest of this video, you are going to understand that critical thinking is often not in the chat when it comes to TikTok drama on the internet, okay? But this video really had me like, what? Like, ma'am, you can't honestly believe that people thinking Samyra's mom was cringy means that they don't have good parents, okay? Because I have a great mom. My mom would go to war for me. She would stand behind me and protect me with all she had if she could. The difference is I don't let her, right? And when it comes to things on the internet, I don't put her in a position, A, to know that she needs to, or B, that she could. Because here's the thing, she would if she could, but I would be mortified, right? Like, I have an iota of dignity, and I am not going to let my mom take it away by trying to fight my internet battles. That doesn't mean that I don't have a good mom. In fact, we called my mom Super Mom when we were kids because not only does she work a full-time job, she was also a volunteer EMT on top of that. And one time, again, I'm still embarrassed about this slightly, but it's kind of cool now that I'm older, she legit tackled a fully grown man before he could assault a woman on the street, okay? My mom is no joke, and she would go to war. Doesn't mean that I want her to. And it doesn't mean that if she did this for me, that I wouldn't cringe so hard. Like, I would literally Homer Simpson disappear into a bush, okay? Involving one's mom in internet drama is just weird. The internet is not real life, and I think that's why this whole saga, just not it for me. And the unhinged reactions are not going to stop there, as you're going to see. Now, one of the first ones that I've chosen here is a little bit more tame. Don't worry, we're going to get into it. But this kept happening where people would pick this drama up and spin it into whatever narrative they needed to fit their own platforms and to make their own money off of this gravy train.
This comment reads, was waiting for your take because everyone's missing the ableist aspect of fat phobia. Yep. A lot of the pushback against Samira is that, oh, she's not doing anything to lose weight. She's just complaining. She wants to stay fat and still have accommodations, to still be accommodated. What are accommodations? A lot of non-fat people, thinner people, believe that fat people are fat because they're eating their way into a functional disability throughout society that then needs to be accommodated, which leads people to believe that fatness and any disability that is associated with fatness is a choice. That's the very reason why they're taking away food stamps, taking away Medicaid, taking away all those things. Because in America, everybody believes that health is a choice.
This entire video left me like literally scratching my head because what? Like, she's saying all of the feedback that Samira is getting and all of the criticism is very focused on Samira choosing not to lose weight and still asking for accommodations. I watched this, and I'm watching it again with you all right for this video, and have we lost the plot? Like, I couldn't even figure out if we were on the same page, and then I realized we were not in the same book at all, because if you watched this fight unfold on TikTok, a lot of the criticism that Samira was receiving was actually not based around her choosing not to lose weight or staying fat. Now, that doesn't mean there weren't people saying it, because of course there were, it's the internet. But a majority of the feedback and of the criticism was very focused on pointing out that Samira is not an activist. People were saying, she doesn't represent me, she's not an activist, she is a rage baiter, she's an agitator, she is out here trying to stir the pot to make money. That is her career. So this idea that most of the feedback and pushback against Samira was about her being fat was again some out of context sort of made up chatter that this creator needed to be in on the drama and to make money off of it. So if it got her the clicks that she needed, great, I guess, but it's just taking away from the entire thing and once again spinning things in a way that make no sense. Like, we have lost the entirety of the context of the argument. Then, oh, I hope you guys are ready for this. Things got even weirder as people started comparing Samira to Malcolm X.
Seeing y'all go to Samira's page and say things like, it gets to a point. Why are you always talking about the same thing? Y'all would have hated Malcolm X. Going to the page of someone who has only ever said that they are here to fight for the inclusivity of a group and then being surprised when they do that doesn't make her weird. It makes you weird. If Brother Malcolm was alive, or if TikTok had existed back then, do you think he would have spoken about anything other than Black liberation? Let's be serious.
And I don't know about all of you, but when I saw this video, I literally paused my phone and said out loud, how did we get here? How did we get here? I feel like I shouldn't have to say these things, but Lord help us, the US education system has failed us so badly. Samira is nothing like Malcolm X. Malcolm X was an activist. He had a movement, he organized people, he strategized, and he literally put his life on the line to move that movement forward and to benefit people, and it extended beyond just himself. Samira, on the other hand, since there was a direct comparison here, Samira has TikToks, okay? Her movement begins and ends with harassing retail hourly paid employees about not having plus size clothing, dragging smaller creators for sport, and creating outrage in general to keep her engagement high. The comparison on a surface level is ridiculous, but the longer you look at it, the worse it gets, right? It's like one of those weird pictures you see about that. Because here's the thing, Samira, as I mentioned, is putting nothing on the line. And right now, actually, she's just living part of her cycle to keep herself relevant. Because if she snaps at a brand or a celebrity and they clap back at her, she gains more followers and more traction using their platforms. If they ignore her, then she just continues to make more content and more content, dragging it out and really riling people up, which drives her engagement up. She needs this cycle for her livelihood. Meanwhile, people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., because she was compared to both of them, Lord help us, they knew that they were going to potentially get themselves into trouble. They were risking physical harm, jail time, and even death to drive their movements forward. And they still chose to do it. They organized, they strategized, and they weren't activists because they defined themselves as activists. They were activists because they drove real change, and they changed the course of history. And this is an interesting segue because most of the reactions that I saw were actually debating whether or not Samyra is an activist, because she labels herself that way, and many other people label her that way. So there were some hard yeses. She is definitely an activist. There were also some very hard no's. She is not an activist. And if you want my opinion up front, if you haven't seen my previous Samyra videos, I don't think she's an activist. I think she is genuinely just performing for TikTok because she knows what does well. And she's done well for herself, but that doesn't make her an activist. Samyra has been building her platforms for multiple years now, and everyone seems to understand that her platform is about talking to brands about not carrying plus sizes. But in the time that she's grown her platforms and amassed now more than 2 million followers, she has never made real or sustainable changes in any way. She regularly uses her platform to go into stores to harass hourly retail employees about not carrying plus sizes as though they have any control over their store policies or what they stock. I've seen her talk very poorly about plus size only clothing stores, and she has also made videos where she's showing how ugly all of their clothing is. I've also seen her yell at and blame thin people as the reason that plus sizes aren't in their stores because somehow they don't want to share fitting rooms.
Tora just said they closing their stores. Last week, Arula said they closing theirs. The shit in Lane Bryant is still ugly and will forever be. So when y'all see me in that mall, up in Cap, Urban Outfitters, Aritzia, Aerie, and all y'all faves trying on the smalls, mediums, larges, and extra larges, I don't want to hear Jack Diddley squat about it. Mind your business. Mind your cart. Your in-store cart. Your not online cart. Like the plus sizes gotta be online. I'm not shopping online. They can close all the stores they want. I'm not shopping. Y'all not making me spend Monopoly money at Fashion Nova. It's not happening. Not if you don't have to. So if you mad about it, if you mad that I'm about to be up in the same fitting rooms as you, then tell your favorite brands to make some plus sizes finally. Or stop getting rid of them. Because I don't care. Y'all will see me in the stores. Thanks.
And finally, as pointed out by hundreds of thousands of other people in this whole situation, Samyra has almost never talked about or promoted small businesses or creators who are creating and selling trendy plus size clothing. Meanwhile, she's out here living this lavish life, okay? Flying first class, walking red carpets, getting brand deals and TV interviews, all without actually offering anything of substance back to the plus size community. There has been plenty of time for her to make meaningful change or do meaningful collaborations or partnerships with these brands, and yet she never has. And even as I say that, I'm reminded that I actually stumbled across someone who said, it's unfair to label her as a rage baiter and a TikToker because she's too smart for that.
Samyra has a degree in sociology from Harvard University, and some of y'all are just trying to reduce her to being a rage baiter and a TikToker. Some of y'all just don't have the range. I mean, she could leave social media entirely and she would still be exactly who she says he is. And some of y'all would just be on here still talking. The truth is, a lot of y'all don't have the credentials or the qualifications to really step into some of the conversations that you're attempting to have. You want to be on equal footing with somebody like her. And now, what, you're going to call me classes?
And y'all, I just, once again, I'm like, what? Who are these people? Like, what is this? Because two things can be true at the same time. I don't know why that's so hard for people on the internet to grasp, but Samyra can be Harvard educated and a Harvard graduate, and she can still be a rage bait creating TikToker. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Like, they can happen at the same time. And in my opinion, they very much are happening at the same time. And also, this attempt to belittle people and say, you just don't have the credentials to even step into this conversation with her. Like, I'm sorry, sir. I need a degree in sociology to talk about plus-size clothing. Please tell me more. I am honestly perplexed by the fact that this man truly thinks that Samyra's Harvard sociology degree has somehow prepared her for this conversation. A fight with Cardi B about plus-size clothing. You guys. But I digress. We're going to continue watching him because he's going to go on to say he's not saying Samyra is better than anyone else, even though he most certainly did.
By no means am I saying she's better than anybody at all, no. But I am saying that there are reasons why certain people can cause a ruckus with what they say and other people can't. Some of y'all will come on here and say the exact same thing and nobody would even see the video. Samyra and Cardi B both are going to continue thriving after this because they've had light placed on them.
And here's what I found interesting about the second half of that clip. He is fully aware and fully admitted that what Samyra says is causing a ruckus. But what he fails to see or to admit is that there is a very fine line, right? If your words are causing a ruckus, that's where the fine line lives between being an activist and a rage baiter. Because one of them's words are pushing for change, and the others are just pushing buttons for engagement. The thing that he and many others for some reason fail to see is that the things Samyra's saying are not new and are not unique in any way, shape, or form, right? He talked about other people's platforms not growing. In my opinion, the reason that her platform grew the way that it did, at the rate in which it did, is because she 100% leaned into making rage bait content. And do you know why I think she did that? Because she's smart. Because she's smart, right? He said it. She is smart. She figured out she didn't have to do the work of an activist. She doesn't have to be boots on the ground. She doesn't have to organize people or have strategy or any type of plan. She doesn't have to work on actual policy change or lobbying or even doing the bare minimum of collaborating with a brand to expand their plus sizes. She doesn't have to do anything of that nature at all to get the success that she's gotten. All she has to do is flip on her smartphone, click a couple of buttons, say just enough words to cause a ruckus and rile people up, and boom, she has a platform. And the brand deals and those first class flights and those TV interviews that I mentioned, they're just rolling into her. And Samyra's not the only one to do this. I'm not faulting her. This is internet influencer culture. And she just happened to figure it out and stake her claim on this side of the internet, okay? She found a niche and she went with it. And I tell my husband all the time, if I was only just capable of selling my soul, I could gain millions of followers and also fly first class, but I don't want to do that. It seems miserable to me. But anyway, I keep getting on tangents in this video. She figured that out and she has staked her claim in this corner of the internet. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that or that she's doing anything differently or worse than any other internet influencer. But when this fight broke out between her and Cardi B, it seems like for the first time, people are really starting to see en masse that Samyra's not offering them solutions. Rather, she's selling them outrage, and she's been selling outrage for years now. And in my opinion, that's just too bad. It sucks to feel like you're watching people waste their talent. She is a very talented singer. She's very smart, and I would even go as far as to say she's a talented actress, right? Because she has been acting and performing on these platforms since the day she got on the internet. And look at what she's been able to build. Maybe that's the real takeaway from this whole video, right? Lots of unhinged things have been said, and we can never unhear them or get that time back. And I am so sorry about that, fam. But maybe the real takeaway here is people can be smart and talented, but that doesn't always automatically mean that they're using their intelligence or their talents for good. Okay, sometimes it means they used their intelligence to find the shortcuts, to utilize loopholes, and that they've found the easiest way to gain attention and engagement and ultimately revenue without ever having to actually get their hands dirty. And that will work for a while, but once the performance starts to feel hollow and like they're not getting anything out of it and they're not seeing real systemic change when that's what you're calling for, they're gonna notice and they're gonna start blocking you and they're gonna start unfollowing you and they're going to start calling you out. And I think that's what we're seeing happen to Samyra right now. People are seeing her for who she truly is at her core as a content creator. All right, that is all I have for you all today on this topic. At this point, I am so genuinely curious to know what you think, because this entire thing was an actual literal hot mess, okay? What do you think about the argument between Samyra and Cardi B? Do you think the things that Cardi B said were fatphobic? Why or why not? Do you think what Cardi said warranted the response she got specifically from Samyra? What do you think about Samyra continuing to directly call out Cardi B and then turning and running for a social media break the minute that Cardi actually responded to her? And what I really want to know is, what do you think about these reactions, okay? Were you surprised to see Samyra's mom crying on the internet? What about the comparisons to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King? Any of those really get under your skin? What about being told that Samyra is too smart for us and that we don't have the credentials to step into this argument? I am sure you have lots of thoughts, just like I did, so I hope that you will share your opinions with me in the comment section down below. You all always come so prepared, and I do really enjoy reading what you have to say, so please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. You know I will be there reading them shortly after this video goes up. And for all my internet friends out there who may not feel comfortable leaving your opinion in an internet comment section, I see you. Go ahead this week and leave me a cupcake emoji, please, because I nearly fell out of my chair when Cardi B offered a cupcake in response to people who had hurt feelings about her comments. I don't even know if she did that intentionally or not, but it was still hilarious to me. So please go ahead and fill the comment section with cupcakes, because I love seeing your emojis just as much as I love reading those opinions. As always, thank you all so much for being here with me this week. I will see you in the next one. Bye.